Hi there, Nikolai is here. I am a WordPress developer from Moscow, Russia. And in this video, I will show you how to get the Bootstrap slider from the documentation and put it on your WordPress site. So let's start. Uh, at the first, I want to show you what you will get at the end of the video. This is the final result, the original Bootstrap 4 slider on your WordPress site in your templates. This is how it will works on the backend if you have the advanced custom field pro plugin installed. So this is the content of the slider. You can change the slides. You can change the titles, the text of for the each slide, and you can also add or delete new items. So let's start from very beginning. This is a fresh installation of the WordPress. The only changes made here that we are not using the default theme from WordPress. The theme that is selected and activated called Bootstrap. This theme is used because it is a starter theme. That means that it is okay to make changes directly on the theme files. So this theme is created to be edited and to create a new project with a custom design. And also Bootstrap is integrated inside this theme, and that means if we take any examples of from documentation from the original Bootstrap files and put them on the inside the theme, it will work perfectly. So let's start. For this lesson, I will use the online editor, and that means that I will change files directly on server. This is how I works for this video, and this is also how I works for most of my commercial projects. So let's find the file that is used for this particular page. As I assume, the page PHP file is used here. And if I go for it, inside the WordPress main loop, there is a call for a special template file that is stored in the loop templates directory and called content dash page.php. Let's find that file. Loop templates content page.php. Okay, great. And yes, here we can find the default WordPress functions like the title, the content, and so on. Let's check that we select the correct file. This is the title, this is the HTML tag, and I will add the dot here and save the file. And if I reload the page, yeah, it's appeared. That means that we will work with this file. So let's go further. And here we can see the function get the post thumbnail. And that means if we get to the edit screen and select the featured image for the page, if we view the page, we can see the static photo here. It's okay, but I want to change the static photo with the Bootstrap slider. So I will comment it this line. So I will go to the loop templates directory and create a new file there, and I call it a page slider.php. Okay, then I will return to this page and I will change it with this function get template directory. And here I need to write the path to the new file that was created. So it means loop templates slash page slider. Yes. Let's check that it is correct, and I will put some code here. So I will add HTML and test, reload, and not. That means that somewhere oh sorry, it's get template part. Yes, of course. Okay, it's working. Great. Let's then put the code from the Bootstrap documentation and see what we get. Documentation, components, and carousel. Carousel. Okay, let's select the example where we have the label, the indicators, and the controls, and just copy this code and put it with the page slider.php. If now I reload the page, I will see these three tiny dots. But I can click and you see that this is actual the working slider with 3 dots instead of images. This is because the code that we copied from the documentation have no image sources in it. Just copy URLs for my slides and put it there. Okay, Control C, Control V. It's okay. Next. Okay. The third image will be this. And if I reload the page, now we have the fully functional Bootstrap for slider on the page template. The problem here, if I created a new page, the slider will be the same, and this is not good. I assume that you want the option to have the slider with the exclusive content for each page. And in this case, we need to have some backend interface to add the content to the slider. And also we need to connect the interface on the backend and the template file that we are using here. For this task, the great tool is a advanced custom fields plugin. If you're not familiar what I am talking about, just go to the advancedcustomfields.com site and you will see what I am talking about. And also you can find all the documentation. This plugin is already installed for this WordPress site. You can see here the custom fields section, and I will create the new field groups for my page to manage the slides of the carousel. So, new group. I will name it as page slider, and I will create a new field, and the name of the field is page slider. So, because the name of the field is the same as a group name and it is a first field, I can fill it, make it empty because it will looks nicer in the backend interface. So I need to select the repeater field, and the important note here that you will get the repeater field only with the Pro version of the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. You will also have an option to use a default Advanced Custom Fields plugin without a Pro, but the code will be different, and I will show how to make it in the next videos. So, page slider, repeater, and now I need to add subfields where we'll put the content for each slide. Let's take a fresh look for the front end. We will need to set the image, the label or caption title, and caption text. This is what we need as a fields for each slide. So I will add here new fields, and the name for them will be very simple and intuitive. The image, and the field type is image. I will add the caption title, and the field name I will shorten to title, and also I will duplicate it, caption text, and publish. Oh, sorry. The option I need to set up for this field group is where it should be shown. I assume that we should set the post type to the page, and that means that you will be able to set the different sliders for each page that you are creating on the site. And if I go to the edit screen, this is what you should see on your backend after the previous step. The Gutenberg part. This is how the meta boxes look like in Gutenberg era. So we can add new rows, or maybe it's better to change this option, add slide. Yeah, it will be better. And it will change when I will update the page itself. So I selected 3 photos in one set, and I can change. Okay, yes, I can change the order, and then I will put some information here. Okay, great. I will click update, and when I view the page, the content will be the same as it was before. Why? Because the backend, the information that is stored in the database is not connected to the template. On the template side, we just have a static information. It's just a bunch of the HTML. This is it. And to connect the template and the database, we need to use some PHP code here, and we will use some functions from the ACF plugin, because they are very helpful and makes the developer works much easier and quicker. Let's take a look what we have here. We have the carousel indicators and carousel inner. This part is these 3 indicators. We will come back to them later. And this part is for the actual slides of the carousel. And you can see the carousel item. It is one slide of the carousel. And we have it 3 times. So because we will show these elements dynamically from the data from the page, from the database, and because we don't know how many slides we will have, I will show them in a loop, and I will use a special function for this block, and it comes with the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. Okay, let's start writing PHP code here. I will start with a while expression is a common PHP expression, and I will use a ACF function called have rows. This function may check if we have content at the backend with the field name page slider. Then the important part, I also need to use the function the row. And if you're familiar with the default WordPress loop, you can see that the names of the function is different, but it is very common for the and very similar for the default WordPress loop. So this is and while. So right now we are checking if the page slider fields is not empty, and one for each row on the backend we are showing this information. Let's try it and update the page, and you can see that nothing working. And this is because 3 times we have the 3 items and all of them are active. So this is the second class active, and Bootstrap is have a restriction here, so you may have only 1 item with active class. If not, this will not the slider will not working at all. So I need to put a check here and write a little PHP code. So if get row index. So what's this? This is the function that goes with ACF plugin, and if we are inside a loop, it can show us the number of a row. So if we are showing this information, it will get us 1. If we are showing next information, it will show us 2, 3, and so on. And we will add the active class only for the first row. So I will save this edit and update the slider. And right now it's working, but you can see that information is static and not changing. This is because we 3 times showing the same information. Let's update it with the dynamic content, and that means that we need to write some additional PHP code, and I hope it's not very hard for you to follow what I am doing here. I am adding here new variable named image, and this is, and now I am connecting it to the ACF fields. So get, because we are inside the loop, I need to use the special function get sub field and put the name here. The name is the image. And this variable is not simple. It is the array with lots of data about each image inside the media library. And you can see what's inside with this default PHP function. And let's try. Oh yes, this is it. Okay, here you can see the structure of the image variable, and maybe it is hard to read for you. It is if it is first time, but when you get some experience, it will be easy to understand the structure of the objects, of variables, and of the arrays. So you can find here the set of the values and the case. Like ID is a number is 7, the title is for the file is Seattle, the URL is this, and so on and so on. And we actually need two elements from here. Maybe the caption, if and we can place it for the alt of the image tag, and also we can get the URL for the large image URL. So when you uploaded a file to the media library, the WordPress automatically created the several variations of this image: the thumbnail, the medium size, and the big size. It's not a good option to use the URL here, because in some cases users may upload a very huge photos that may cause the very long loading speed for the page, and you can't make anything with this. So what we need to find here, we need to find, yes, the sizes, the array inside an array, and here we can see the thumbnail URL, the URL for thumbnail, the sizes of it, then the medium URL, the URL for medium sized photo, and also the large. Yes, so we can get this information. With the coding, we can just comment it. We can write this, create the new variable called URL, and it will take sizes and large. Okay, and we can also get the image alt, and it will be the image caption. We get the subfield image, and we get the exact information that we need from it. And let's replace the static content with the variables using echo and image URL, and here I will use image alt. So for the caption title and caption text, I will use just the ACF functions called the subfield. Okay, let's reload the page, and you can see that the slider is almost working. But one thing here, that this part is right now is using the static content, and if we change the number of slides, it will remain the 3 indicators, and it is not good. Let's change it to be dynamic. Okay, this is the final part. Let's make the indicators, yes, dynamic. So this is the code, the page slider. So instead of these 3 lines, I will make the dynamic loop. So right now I am deleting these lines. I don't need them anymore. And I will copy this part of the loop for the actual slides, because we get the same content from the backend, from the ACF repeater field. We will use the same code, and this is it. This the content of the loop is very tiny. It's 1 line of the code, but we right now it is static, and it will not works because will bring all the indicators to the first slide. And also we should put the active class only for the first indicator. So I can just copy a code for here, because it's the same logic as it was for the slides, but the data slide to attribute is different because it starts from 0 and not from 1. And for this situation, I will add some code, maybe counter. Oh, sorry, I will add another variable, and it will use the function get row index. But when I will place it here and show it in the HTML, I will echo, and echo not the actual counter, counter -1. So this will be 0, then 1, then 2, and if we will get the new slides, it also will be correct. Okay, I think this is it. Let's test what we get here. It's working, and if I get another slide, okay, I don't want to upload new images. I will use the same update view page. Okay, now I have 4 slides and 4 indicators, and it's okay. Great. But I want to make the final customization in another file. I want to update the content-page.php, and I want to add here the backward compatibility. So if we have no slides for a page, and if we have there a featured image of that page, I want that the featured image to shown on page as it was before we commented this page. So I need here an if statement, and I will check if we the page have rows for the page slider field. If yes, then it means we should use the get template part function. In other case, let's return to the get the post thumbnail. And of course, I need to end this statement and delete the unnecessary code here. Okay, for the first page, if have, okay, page slider. For the first page, we have the slider. If I create a new page and I will call it test page with no slider and publish it, empty page, and let's see how it works when we add the featured image for that page. Okay, I selected New York. Let's view the page. The thumbnail, sorry, the featured image is shown here. But if I add one row, maybe with empty fields, and update, it will be replaced with a slider. We can't see the slider because it's empty, but if I put a Seattle photo here, it will show with one slide. Excellent. So this is it. If you have questions or you need a code snippets, please put comments below. If you have questions, ask it in the comments. I will answer all the questions. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.